In the heart of the sunlit savannah lay the village of Mwangaza, a small yet vibrant community where ancient traditions mingled with the pulse of modern hope. Every morning, the first rays of the sun would stretch over vast, undulating grasslands and ancient baobabs whose mighty limbs whispered stories of old. In Mwangaza, time moved in harmony with nature, each day a fresh page written in the language of the wind and the earth. Villagers awoke to the rhythmic clatter of wooden tools and the gentle hum of daily life. Mud brick houses with thatched roofs formed a warm mosaic around the bustling central market, where colors, sounds, and laughter converged. Elders sat beneath the shade of sprawling mango trees, sharing age-old folktales that carried wisdom through generations, while children raced barefoot on dusty paths, their voices blending with the distant drumbeat of celebration. In this village, every face bore a story of resilience and joy. Families gathered at dusk around open fires to recount the day's adventures and dream of tomorrow's promises. The gentle cadence of folk songs filled the air, reinforcing the bonds of community and tradition. Mwangaza was more than a place, it was a living tapestry woven from the threads of hope, perseverance, and unity. It was here, amid this rich tapestry of life, that our story begins, a story of a young boy whose heart shone as brightly as the morning sun. The village of Mwangaza, with its whispering winds and timeless rhythms, would come to be both the cradle of his childhood dreams and the stage for challenges that would test his courage in unimaginable ways. Among the many children who danced through the streets of Mwangaza, one boy shone with a unique brightness. Kito was a lively 10-year-old whose spirit was as vibrant as the colors of the woven Kent cloth his mother sometimes wore on special occasions. Every morning, with a heart full of hope and a smile as wide as the horizon, Kito would set out on adventures that filled his days with laughter and learning. At school, Kito's eyes sparkled with curiosity. He was known for his boundless energy, whether he was chasing a rolling ball on the schoolyard or listening intently to the wise words of his teacher, Mwalimu Nia. His classmates admired him for his friendly nature and his willingness to share both his toys and his dreams. In class, he eagerly absorbed lessons on history, math, and the rich folklore of his people, each story adding layers to his imaginative world. After school, however, the bright echoes of laughter would slowly fade as Kito returned to a quiet home. His parents, Mama Sophia and Baba Jabari, were dedicated workers, tending to their modest stall in the busy market that brought life and livelihood to the community. Though they loved Kito dearly, the long hours they spent laboring to provide for the family often left him in solitude during the late afternoon hours. Yet even in those quiet moments, Kito's inner light refused to dim. He found solace in the little wonders of the world, a dancing shadow beneath a baobab, a soft whisper of the wind, or the distant laughter of other children. His imagination transformed loneliness into a canvas for dreams, where every challenge could be met with a spark of hope and determination. In his heart, Kito carried the unyielding belief that every new day was an opportunity for joy, discovery, and the kind of adventure that could change the world. Every afternoon, as the village clock seemed to slow down beneath the blazing African sun, Kito found himself walking a familiar path back to his humble home. Though his steps were light with the day's memories, his heart sometimes felt a pang of loneliness upon realizing the quiet that awaited him. His parents, though full of love, were often busy ensuring that the market stall thrived, leaving their son in the gentle embrace of solitude. Within the cool walls of his home, every room echoed with the absence of familiar voices. The rhythmic ticking of a wooden clock was his only companion, marking the slow passage of time until Mama Sophia returned from her walk. Yet, even in solitude, the walls of his little house whispered the comforting legacy of family and tradition. Photographs of ancestors, carefully arranged on a narrow shelf, served as silent reminders that every generation had known moments of both hardship and joy. Kito filled his afternoons with quiet activities. He would often sit beneath the shade of a broad window, reading from a collection of folktales that recounted brave heroes, wise elders, and magical creatures of the land. The stories transported him far from the solitude of his room, into a world where every challenge was met with courage and every sorrow with a promise of redemption. Sometimes, he would scribble his own stories in a worn-out notebook, dreams of one day becoming a storyteller echoing in each word. Yet, despite these moments of solace, there was an unspoken yearning in Kito's heart, a longing not for solitude but for companionship and warmth. He dreamed of afternoons filled with the chatter of friends and the laughter of a caring presence. Even as the solitude allowed his mind to wander through the realms of his imagination, a quiet wish lingered, that someone might share in the small adventures of his day and help paint the hours with the bright colors of friendship and care. One fateful afternoon, as the amber light began to soften the edges of Mwangaza, Mama Sophia and Baba Jabari introduced a new presence into Kito's quiet routine. Recognizing the loneliness that had slowly crept into their son's heart, they spoke gently one evening about a trusted neighbor who might share in caring for him until they returned from the market. They spoke of Mama Shani, a warm-hearted woman who lived near the ancient baobab at the edge of the village, a woman known for her kind smile and the delightful treats she shared with every child who passed by. Kito's initial reaction was a mix of curiosity and caution. He had seen Mama Shani in passing, a figure who seemed to radiate a friendly warmth, but never had he spent any significant time in her company. The thought of spending his afternoons with someone who cared, even if only for a few hours, sparked a flutter of hope in his heart. His parents' reassurances, wrapped in love and necessity, made him nod quietly, accepting this new arrangement with a brief smile. That very next day, as the cool breeze began to pick up and the sun made its slow descent, Kito approached Mama Shani's modest dwelling. The small hut, neat and welcoming, sat under the watchful gaze of the ancient baobab. As he stepped onto the worn path leading to her door, he was greeted by a gentle voice and a smile that lit up the simple space. "Welcome, dear child," Mama Shani said, her tone as soothing as the evening song of the village. "Come in and rest, for there is always room for another joyful soul here." Inside, the hut was adorned with small tokens of care, a woven mat on the floor, a bowl of fresh millet porridge on a low table, and a few trinkets that spoke of a life filled with humble pleasures. Kito felt a warmth that went beyond the physical. It was a welcome to a space where kindness was tangible and every corner whispered of shared stories and gentle laughter. In that moment, a seed of hope was planted in his heart, even as he remained unaware of the shadows that would soon intertwine with this newfound light. As the days turned into weeks, Kito's afternoons at Mama Shani's hut became a regular, comforting ritual. Each visit unfolded like a gentle story, one where the warmth of companionship momentarily banished the loneliness that had once filled his home. Mama Shani, with her ever-present kind eyes and a laugh that resonated like soft drums in the evening air, welcomed him each day with open arms. In her small, neatly kept dwelling, Kito found more than just a temporary respite. He discovered a world of stories, care, and small gifts that made his heart flutter with delight. Every afternoon, as he stepped through the modest doorway, he was greeted by the inviting aroma of freshly cooked millet porridge and the soft murmur of folk songs played on an old radio. Mama Shani would often ask, "How was your day at the School of Wisdom, dear Kito?" as she carefully set out a plate of food. Her questions, simple yet sincere, filled him with a sense of belonging. While the hut was small, it felt like a sanctuary. Its walls, decorated with colorful cloth and local art, held the echoes of laughter and whispered secrets of bygone days. Here, Kito learned not only about the everyday tasks of the village but also about the rich tapestry of Mwangaza's history, tales of courageous ancestors and mystical creatures that roamed the savannah under starry skies. Mama Shani's gentle storytelling transported him to lands where magic and reality intertwined, and where every challenge was met with wisdom and hope. Amid the warmth and care, however, there lingered an unspoken complexity. While Mama Shani's initial kindness shone like a beacon in Kito's solitary afternoons, subtle changes began to seep into their routine. Yet, for a time, the child's joyful laughter and bright curiosity overshadowed any lingering doubts. The little sanctuary of the hut, for now, remained a place where comfort and care reigned supreme, a brief escape from the quiet loneliness of home. In the gentle rhythm of life at Mama Shani's hut, moments of unexpected joy began to blossom like wildflowers in the savannah. One sunlit afternoon, as Kito played in the small courtyard outside her home, Mama Shani presented him with a gift that would forever brighten his eyes, a brand new soccer ball, vibrant and smooth, as if it had captured the very essence of the African sun. "This is for you, dear Kito," she said, her voice soft yet full of pride, "for you remind me of a young lion, brave and full of promise." The ball, adorned with bold colors reminiscent of the village's celebratory garb, became a symbol of hope and care. Kito's heart swelled with happiness as he clutched his treasure. In that moment, he felt cherished and understood. Every day after receiving his gift, Kito would eagerly look forward to the moments when he could play with it. The ball rolled across the dusty ground, bouncing in playful arcs, much like his laughter that echoed across the courtyard. In those moments of unbridled joy, the world outside seemed to recede into insignificance. The gentle clapping of hands, the soft encouragement from Mama Shani, and the distant hum of the village market blended into a symphony of simple pleasures. Yet, as the sun dipped low and the sky turned a soft violet, a quiet undercurrent began to murmur beneath the surface of these happy afternoons. There were fleeting moments, small hesitations in Mama Shani's gentle smiles, subtle shifts in her tone, that Kito, in his youthful innocence, could not quite understand. For now, though, the magic of the gift and the warmth of her praise shrouded those hints in a veil of affection and gratitude. As days passed, the soccer ball became more than just a plaything. It was a vessel carrying dreams of victory, courage, and camaraderie. It was a silent promise that no matter the shadows that sometimes lurked in the corners of life, moments of brightness would always be found in acts of kindness and care. And so, in the heart of Mwangaza, beneath the ever-watchful sky, Kito's journey continued, each day a new page in a story of light, hope, and the enduring power of love. As time meandered on in Mwangaza, the warmth of everyday life was sometimes interlaced with subtle, unspoken complexities. Kito, in his tender years, began to notice that not every smile held only light. While Mama Shawnee's welcoming demeanor and soft words continued to comfort him, there were moments when the smile on her face seemed to shift, fleeting glimmers of something darker hidden behind her gentle eyes. In the soft glow of late afternoons, when the sun was but a memory on the horizon, Kito would observe Mama Shawnee with a curious intensity. At times, as she told him stories of ancient heroes and whispered secrets of forgotten magic, there was a hesitation in her gaze, a pause that sent a ripple of uncertainty through his young heart. These small, almost unnoticeable cues contrasted sharply with the warmth of her earlier kindness. Kito's days, which had once been filled solely with the simple pleasures of play and storytelling, now carried an undertone of confusion. He struggled to reconcile the image of the caring woman who gifted him his treasured soccer ball with these subtle hints of disquiet. Though his mind, still brimming with the simplicity of youth, found it hard to articulate the conflict, a small seed of doubt was quietly being sown. Within the tranquil walls of Mama Shawnee's hut, the interplay of light and shadow became a silent dance, one that Kito could neither fully comprehend nor escape. The laughter that once filled the space now occasionally mingled with a perplexing tension. And yet, every time he looked up into Mama Shawnee's eyes, he was met with a warmth that urged him to trust, to believe that everything was as it should be. Even as these subtle shadows began to emerge, the village around them continued its timeless rhythm. Outside, the evening calls of the village echoed, and the familiar cadence of folk music drifted on the wind. For a long while, Kito's focus remained on the immediate joys, the thrill of a new story, the simple delight of a shared smile, without fully grasping the undercurrents that stirred beneath the surface of his afternoon haven. Thus, in the quiet interplay of light and shadow, Kito's heart held on to hope, unaware of the challenges that lay hidden. The gentle smile that once brought only comfort now carried with it an enigmatic quality, one that, in time, would demand his careful attention and courage to understand. One mild afternoon, after finishing his lessons beneath a sky brushed with hues of deepening blue, Kito found himself sitting with Mama Shawnee on a warm couch in her humble hut. The room, lit only by the soft glow of a single lantern, seemed to hold its breath as Mama Shawnee leaned in close and proposed a special game, a secret just for the two of them. "Come now, Kito," she whispered with a smile that felt both inviting and mysterious, "let us play a game that only we understand. Promise me you won't tell anyone." At first, the idea sparkled like a hidden treasure in his mind. The notion of sharing an exclusive secret was enticing, a rare departure from the ordinary routine of his afternoons. Yet, as the game began, a subtle, unsettling feeling took root in his heart. The nature of the game was unlike the lively soccer matches he played with his friends or the joyful storytelling sessions that had always filled his days. It was different, strange in a way that made him hesitate, as if his intuition was trying to speak louder than the gentle persuasion in Mama Shawnee's tone. As minutes turned into an unnerving silence, Kito's small heart fluttered with confusion. He tried to grasp the rules of this game, but the instructions were vague, cloaked in secrets that he could neither fully understand nor ignore. The warm afternoon air, which earlier had felt comforting, now carried an undertone of unease that settled over him like a heavy blanket. His eyes, wide with uncertainty, searched Mama Shawnee's face for reassurance, but found only a fixed smile that offered no explanation. The game, intended to be a private moment of fun, soon began to feel like a puzzle with pieces that did not quite fit together. With each passing moment, Kito's inner voice grew louder, urging him to question what was unfolding. Despite the soft cadence of Mama Shani's words, the child's instinct whispered that this was not the game he had known in the carefree field of Mwangaza, nor was it like the stories of heroes and laughter that filled his day. Even as the soft lantern light flickered against the walls of the hut, Kito felt the fast stirrings of a deep discomfort, an emotion as foreign as it was unwelcome. His heart pounded in a rhythm that seemed to echo his rising apprehension, setting the stage for a silent battle between the desire to trust and the need to protect his tender self. In that quiet, secret moment, the path of his journey took an unforeseen turn, hinting at challenges he could not yet fully comprehend. As twilight gave way to a velvety night, Kito lay in the quiet solitude of his modest home, but sleep did not come as it once did. The shadows that danced on the walls began to whisper secrets, secrets that mimicked the unsettling moments of that peculiar afternoon with Mama Shani. In the darkness, every creak and every rustle of the wind seemed amplified, transforming into echoes of a game he wished he had never played. Night after night, Kito's dreams turned turbulent. Instead of the joyful adventures he once envisioned beneath the African moon, his sleep was haunted by images that brought tears to his eyes. In these dreams, the friendly smile of Mama Shani would twist into something unrecognizable, and the once familiar hut morphed into a labyrinth of uncertainty and fear. The nightmares felt as though they were trying to tell him something he couldn't quite understand, a warning echoing in the silence of his mind. Morning light would eventually chase away the darkness, yet the residue of fear lingered in Kito's heart. He awoke to find the signs of his troubled sleep, small tears staining his pillow and his spirit burdened with a heaviness he had never known before. The vibrant memories of school and play were now clouded by the specter of those unsettling dreams, leaving him with an ache that no sunny afternoon or gentle lullaby could dispel. Despite the growing unrest in his heart, Kito struggled to put these feelings into words. His world, once filled with the simple joys of a child's life, now felt partitioned by an inexplicable divide, a separation between the brightness of day and the mysterious shadows of night. In the soft light of dawn, as the village of Mwangaza stirred to life, Kito attempted to gather the scattered pieces of his courage, even as the haunting memories clung stubbornly to his mind. The nights became a quiet battleground, where hope waged war against a creeping fear. Yet, even in his darkest moments, a small ember of resilience flickered in his soul, urging him to face the truth hidden within those nightmares. The painful dreams, though unsettling, would eventually become part of a larger narrative, a narrative that demanded to be understood, shared, and ultimately overcome.